Their Rick and Morty cameos demonstrate that James Gunn and Zack Snyder have nothing but support for one another, despite the internet's fabrication of a rivalry between them. In Ricker Than Fiction, the 7th episode of Rick and Morty Season 8, Rick and Morty become armchair filmmakers because they are unhappy with the most recent entry in their favorite blockbuster film franchise, Maximum Velocity. James Gunn, the new studio head and director of the Maximum Velocity films, is visited by Rick and Morty. Naturally, it's not a legitimate franchise, but Gunn did transform a superpowered tree into a cherished franchise icon. Rick and Morty decide they can perform better, so they take Gunn's script and give it an AI punch-up. The episode resolves a few long-standing conflicts within pop culture fandom while also serving as a general satire of film studios' attempts to incorporate generative artificial intelligence, AI, into the filmmaking process. In the Warner Brothers cafeteria, Gunn talks to Zack Snyder after Rick steals his most recent script and criticizes his writing. Both Gunn and Snyder, who have expressed their love for the show over the years, speak for themselves in the episode. They support one another, as evidenced by their scene together. The internet has created a rivalry between Snyder and Gunn ever since Gunn was brought on board to manage DC Studios. However, they have previously collaborated and have consistently supported one another's work, and their Rick and Morty cameos unequivocally demonstrate that these two filmmakers are not hostile toward one another. Snyder listens to Gunn in their Rick and Morty scene and asserts that his heart is as large as his biceps. He gives encouraging remarks regarding the most recent Superman cut and reassures Gunn that Rick is merely a hater. They make lighthearted fun of the disparities in their filmmaking techniques. The term "hire fans" is frequently used online whenever a new installment in a well-known franchise is released that isn't adored by everyone. But you can tell this wouldn't work just by reading a Redditor's attempt to write dialogue for Deadpool. The most recent episode of Rick and Morty demonstrates why it would be a poor idea to hire amateur fans, as the result would be even worse films. Rick and Morty believe they can improve the Maximum Velocity franchise, but they soon discover they are incompetent filmmakers.